What is it?
I was curious about that symbol you wear. Kind of looks like a wheel.
It is a water wheel, of sorts.
Some symbol of the Enclave, then?
No, it's not.
And
this conversation is over. The Axel mentioned you were asking about my dear friend, Matteo Agretius.
you were close?
Matteo was a great man. In the aftermath of the surge, he went back for families that couldn't evacuate to Nevron. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago. You were comparing mantles to see if there might be a family relation?
Aurea was hoping he might be her father, but it turns out he's not.
Unfortunate. What an impressive lineage she would have. I hear you've been accessing our supply caches in the underworks.
Not exactly. I've just been clearing the way for the scouts, as per the Axel's request. She says you've been short on supplies for quite some time.
Then there's no problem at all. Assuming you're telling the truth, that is.
No reason to lie. My band's work with the Axel benefits all of us. She gives us knowledge, and we help out everywhere we can. Win-win.
In time, your true intentions will reveal themselves. And first impressions have not served you well.
Hello, Sebastian.
Sola. Brynn. Hello?
Hey. Listen, we just have something to say. Shh. You're good. Just listen for a second, okay? We know the Eye has you working on some project. We know you two have some kind of connection, and we want you to know it's okay.
Sola's right, big guy. And if you need help, or if something's happening you're not comfortable with, you tell us, okay? We came in here as a team, and nothing's going to change that.
Exactly. Anytime you need to talk, apprentice of mine, you know where we are. And we'll listen.
I don't know what to say.
You'll know when it's time. We'll see you at camp, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
A resonance. Freshly pulled from an arc's pattern, as requested.
By the flames! You can't be serious! This is incredible! You know, great archons weren't built with patterns. They formed. This will propel my research faster than...
What is this about?
Nothing.
Is that so? Then why is this rogue point harvesting archons for you?
Khan Stanild. Isla is the spindle. Patterns are directly tied to her domain when you hear what she hopes to achieve with the arcs.
I'm well aware of my daughter's ambitions, newcomer. And I have given express orders that she is not to pursue them.
Daughter?
The reason you didn't want me studying active arcs was because it was too dangerous to harvest one. But Brynn offered to do it for me. None of our people were put at risk.
The reason I didn't want you researching arcs is because I ordered you not to. Not as your father, but as the leader of the Enclave. This insolence and disrespect will not be tolerated. You will drop this obsession at once, Isla. For good.
Hey, are you...
I can't be seen speaking to you about this subject anymore. I'm sorry.
But...
I need to get back to work. Goodbye.
You know, our lawkeeper would love to meet with some of the populace. They could record some oral histories. There must be thousands of stories of surviving the surge.
I'm sure your band is curious about our Hearthsiders, but that's out of the question.
Can I ask why?
I's orders. Your Weaver band is to be kept isolated from the populace. He believes that your presence would be disruptive to everyday life. I don't agree entirely, but you must understand this is a precarious situation. Even the scouts are isolated. Word from outside Cassidans has caused panic in the past.
Shame. But I understand.
I really can't discuss the Ox with you. Not here.
Don't worry. I understand. I just didn't realize that Khan Stanold is your father.
Admittedly, I wasn't the most forthcoming about that.
Why hide the fact that the Eye is your father?
No. Everyone knows. That's kind of the problem. My father has been in power a long time. And obviously, being his daughter has come with its privileges. But I can't ignore the whispers that I haven't truly earned my role. And at times, I worry they're right.
So, when you had the opportunity to work with us on your own terms...
I took it. I'm sorry. This probably looks bad.
Are you all right after that argument?
He's been on edge lately.
Since our band arrived?
That didn't help, but our relationship hasn't been great since I became the Spindle. At first, he was thrilled when I was elected, but... You're just not seeing him at his best right now. Please, don't judge him too harshly.
I'll try not to. But you didn't answer my question. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I know we're not supposed to talk about the A word. But they're your passion. Why is your father so against you pursuing your research?
He says they're dangerous.
Right. But so are a lot of things in the Enclave.
I never knew my mother. I was born just before the retreat to Cassidan's Hold. When my research touched a nerve, he finally told me that she had died in an arc attack on the upper city. He wants me to steer clear of them, but he just doesn't see their potential. Yet.
You said he's not at his best. What does a good day look like for him?
I know it's hard to see it, but he is an amazing father. My childhood was wonderful. Growing up in Cassidan's Hold wasn't easy, but he made it fun. No matter how intense his job became, he made time for me. Playing dress-up, reading to me before bed, or, as I got older, teaching me the basics of weaving and enchanting. He was my best friend and confidant. I could always tell him anything.
Do you still tell him everything, even now?
A lot has changed. But I have to believe he's still the same father I grew up with.
Just know that when it comes to our Weaver Band, we believe that our contributions are what defines us.
That's comforting. For what it's worth, I did enjoy working with you. But that's in the past. I should get back to my duties.
Sounds like you've got yourself entangled in a family drama.
Without realizing it, yes.
I feel for Isla. Growing up with a successful parent can be difficult, even in the best of circumstances. And I certainly had the best of circumstances with my mother. Still, it was a lot to live up to.
I'm trying to help her, however I can.
Careful. No one knows the extent of a family's affairs except those inside it. You might be stumbling into something bigger than you realize.
Something's been bothering me about the loom gates.
You're going to ask how I got to your camp without connecting you to Cassidon's.
Yes. I've been reconnecting all the gates as I discover them.
We developed a way to move through the gates without a permanent connection. When Asylum activated, it severed every loom gate, cut off the Surgeborn, which gave us a huge edge. But the scouts needed to move around without opening paths for them. So, the High Enchanter did their thing.
Is that why the hold's still cut off from the other gates?
It took a lot to convince the Council to even allow a connection here.
Eric, you don't think you could have mentioned that the spindle is the Eye's daughter?
That's her business to share.
Yes, but it would have been nice to know I was helping his daughter rebel against him.
Instead of helping his unrelated colleague undermine him.
Wow. Mean. But fair.
Your intervention definitely had an impact, though. A number of enchanters immediately started pushing for more. More expeditions, more studies of the Surgeborn, you name it. That's the kind of pressure the Eye was hoping to avoid. But I think him blowing up was a misstep. If I had to guess, that Axel started the rumors.
Do you think that's what Isla wanted?
No. She just wants to keep her head down and not have people focus on the Eye-father thing. And frankly, I get it. If Khan Stanild were my dad, I'd take it to the grave.
Okay. But if I'm walking into any more deadfalls, a heads up would be nice.
You do prefer things out in the open? Deal. I suspect even with a warning, you'd still do what you thought was right, whether it would make the Eye mad or not. Sounds like your work with Isla was a smash success.
Not exactly. She seems less willing to talk to us than ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure of that. She sent me here with a secret message, after all.
She did? What about?
Isla wants you to go to the Archon's hearth. It needs to be at night, though. She'll sneak away from Cassidon's hold to guide you on the scry here. She wants you to collect Archon parts that may be hard to spot without her help.
I've been to the Archon's hearth already. But is there anything you think I should know?
You enjoy diving into restricted areas, don't you?
Hey, it's literally my job.
The Archon's hearth is where all arcs were created. We lost control of it almost immediately after the Surgeborn appeared. Not that we had much use for it. The Surge hit it hard, and most of the weavers who knew how to build arcs died as a result. But all the materials to build arcs are still there. Hence, the spindle wants you to go.
What parts does Isla want me to collect?
There'll be 3 what's-its, 4 who's-its, and maybe a thingy or 2?
For a guy delivering secret messages, you're not really a detailed note-taker, are you?
I glazed over when she started listing the parts, and, well, we decided her sneaking out to guide you on your scry was the best course of action. Besides, even if we knew what the parts were called, there's a lot of junk down in the Archon's hearth. It wouldn't be easy to spot on your own.
The Eye, well, her father, was livid when I brought her the resonance. Couldn't Isla get in trouble for sneaking out?
I know. Oh, she's never been cooler. But yes, she could absolutely get in trouble for this. We should make it a quick trip.
Got it. I appreciate you being the middleman, Eric. Sounds like I'd better get to the Archon's hearth.
Enjoy the trip? I hear it's toasty when you get deeper in. It is basically a giant forge for arcs, after all.
I suppose if anywhere we're going to be too full of magic, it would be this place.
A lot of the records were lost, but we know the real innovation happened down here.
And the Enclave's innovations took a lot of magic. Right.
The spindle just arrived. She's here to guide your expedition on the scribe.
Please, call me Isla. I'll direct you to the Archon parts we need.
Hard to believe you actually came. Worried you'll get caught sneaking out?
Please. It's hardly my first time out of the hold.
Ah, you're gutsier than you let on. The manifold contains most of the complex and large machinery in Archon's hearth.
Resonant Fields is where the Enclave farmed much of its coral. You're approaching the stockpile of arc armor. I'll need you to collect a few pieces for me.
Got the armor.
We'll need a pair of otoliths, stones that allow the arcs to sense the environment around them. On a functioning arc, you'll see them placed in paired sockets in their head.
So, the Ark's eyeballs?
Well, in appearance, otoliths certainly look like an arc's equivalent to our eyes, but they're also used for balance and sound perception. So, functionally, otoliths act as both eyes and ears.
The carapace chamber must be where each arc was fitted for its plating.
Got the eyes, and ears. Otoliths. You know what I mean.
to equip Archons.
Up ahead, you'll find a stockpile of a thin material used for insulating magic. We call it...
Carapace.
Oh, you're familiar with it?
We used it to repair the magic leaking from the loom gate in the outskirts.
That's genius.
The emergence gate is one of several grand gates that was built to facilitate the transport of great Archons. Apparently, it's no longer functional.
Easier to collect it this way the first time around.
Every Archon was assembled and enchanted here.
On the shelves, you should find a tome titled An Enchanter's Guide to Governing Schemers.
Could I borrow it once you've finished?
Sure. I mean, from what I've heard, it's a dry read. It's just a basic introduction to enchanting the Ark's governing schemer.
Dry? Who in their right mind could possibly find that dry? Just about anyone.
One book on something schemers, as requested.
That's everything we need. This will do wonders for my research. If only there was an arc I could try to repair, but alas.
We've got one here in the campsite. It's the one we followed through the bay.
What? Would you...
Help carrying it to Cassidon's hold.
Thank you.
I'll meet you there with the parts.
The incandescent arch houses another loom gate.
How are you feeling about our talk with Sev?
Surprisingly good. If there's one thing I know, it's when people are really listening. And that young man knows how to listen. He'll do what's right.
I heard you and Solar confronted Sev in the hold. I know you thought he was doing something, maybe for or with the Eye. I won't pry, but did it go okay?
Solar did most of the talking. Handled it well. And then she used his full name to make her point.
Oof, poor guy. Well, whatever's happening, it's got the Eye excited. He's been moving supplies to the Grand Gate, and Sev's been seen down there too. It's a loom gate large enough for the Great Arcs. I'm still not sure why. He's seconded some enchanters and crafters and sworn them to secrecy. They basically live in a camp down there.
Might be trying to repair it. Sev has a knack for understanding how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, but why? It bothers me no one seems to know except the Eye.
That should do it.
That was incredible.
It was certainly exhilarating.
Are you okay?
Yes, it's just no small feat to power an arc manually. Even a smaller one like this. It takes a lot out of me. We still don't know how the Enclave was able to catalyze an arc's ability to absorb raw magic on its own. Weavers certainly weren't powering them the way I just did.
Still, what a leap forward.
Indeed. You have no idea what this means to me. Thank you for all your help.
Isla, what you did, I have to say, I'm impressed. Perhaps I misjudged your ambitions with the Arcs.
Perhaps. That is an understatement. You've never taken me seriously.
Isla, I'm trying to...
Just like you've never taken the Surgeborn seriously. I watched Brynn's expedition to the Underworks.
You left Cassidon's hold. That is against my direct orders.
Oh, just like you ordered to sweep hundreds of Surgeborn under the rug, instead of actually doing something about them.
This is your doing, somehow. What have you done to turn my daughter against me?
No one is against anyone. Our Weaver Band is here to help, starting with getting the Surgeborn under control.
Brynn didn't do anything wrong. Working with her has shown me what I've always known, deep down. That you've sheltered me from the truth for too long. And that there are people who value the work I want to achieve.
Isla, this isn't like you. These Weavers have corrupted your mind, or...
Your lies are what's been messing with my head. After all, we both know that's not the only thing you've lied about.
As the Eye, it is my job to hide things from you, from everyone, for your protection. And that's all I've ever done.
I don't want to hear another word from you right now.
Isla.
Just go.
Wow. That can't have been easy.
It was a long time coming. I need to go process all that just happened. But thank you for everything. And when it comes to dealing with the Surgeborn, just know that from now on, I've got your back.
Good to hear. We're going to need it.
I'm guessing Staneld family dinners have been awkward lately.
Try non-existent. I wanted to believe my father was a good person deep down, if driven by fear at times. Now, I just don't know.
Maybe he was doing what he thought was right. We're all capable of making mistakes, no matter how good our intentions are.
I don't see how his fears could have led him to lies this deep.
That's probably because you're braver than he is. You're ready to face the truth, no matter what it costs.
Thank you. And Brynn, my father might be willing to let the Surgeborn take over, but I'm not him. I'm with you until the end, whatever it takes. Things between my father and I are maybe not improving, but shifting. He apologized for not taking my work seriously, and it seemed genuine this time.
Did he apologize for all the lying?
He's trying to make amends for that, in his own way. He's even brought me onto an enchanting project he's been working on. It's hard. Part of me wants the relationship we used to have back. A bigger part of me knows it's gone for good.
You're probably right that you can't go back. But if he loves you enough to atone, maybe there's a path for the two of you.
I know I need to keep my guard up for now. But truthfully, I want that more than anything.
Ah, Brynn. Good to see you. What was the outcome of your work with Isla? I'm still hoping to draw upon her expertise for my next task.
She got the Ark in our camp up and running. Only for a moment, but Isla was thrilled. It'll be huge for her research on regaining control of the Arcs. But she had a pretty intense argument with the Eye afterwards. I think it was a long time coming. It seems like she's finally done letting her father manipulate her.
An interesting development. Is she all right?
I think so. Let's bring her over.
Please tell me you've got a distraction for me.
Are you all right, Isla?
I'm just, a little tired, is all. Between powering an arc by myself and confronting my father on the same day. Even as a previous High Enchantress, it took a lot out of me. I'm still working my way through it. And I need to figure out an independent power source for the arc. It's too much to think about.
I'm sorry. Should we do this another time?
No. Please. I need distractions. Or I might be tempted to set the hold ablaze.
Fair enough. What have you got for us, Karnatame?
An issue we faced in the early days of their appearance and are now facing once again is the ability of the Surgeborn to navigate the Enclave. Put simply, they are using our Loomgate network to traverse great distances in an instant. We can't let that stand. I'm only familiar with the Loomgate's design through my parents' work on them. But Brynn recently helped us access a supply cache in the Institute, and we found something that could help. A set of schematics for a device to block the Surgeborn from using the Loomgates while keeping them accessible to us.
A way to filter out the Surgeborn without endangering Weavers. It could significantly impact their ability to fight us. How can I help?
Well, they're incomplete, and I was hoping you could tell us what's missing. Here, take a look.
Let's see... A resonance modulator.
Brynn, while she looks over the schematics, do you have any questions?
Where's this device going once we finish building it?
The resonance modulator should connect directly to the harness. You've already been there.
Returning to the scene of the crime. Why there?
The harness acts as a central nexus that controls not just Asylum, but our Loomgates and all of the Enclave's transit points. Hence, why you were able to use it to open up the underworks in the first place.
At least I can't unleash the Surgeborn a second time.
Small mercies.
Why didn't they finish the schematic?
My understanding is that at that time, our bureaucracy was growing to the point of being rather unwieldy. I still grapple with the remnants of that bureaucracy every day, so I can imagine that whoever was working on these schematics, let's just say that they were probably told to submit it to a committee before proceeding with the design.
Even though it was urgent and would have saved hundreds of lives?
For some people, propriety dictates priority. That's my guess, anyway. And, for the record, much of my life's work has been in service of streamlining that kind of bureaucracy. We cannot risk following the same path that led us to ruin.
How do we know that this modulator will work?
Whoever designed this clearly knew what they were doing. It's beautiful, elegant work.
I'll say. It feels... familiar, almost. I can't quite put my finger on it.
We could check through the rest of the paperwork, see if we can find out who the author is, if you'd like.
Yes. I'd love to.
I've had enough. The sooner we get this modulator built, the sooner we can secure the Loomgates. I'm assuming you'll be the one to build this. What do I need to bring you?
To be frank, considering all your Weaver Band's achieved since you arrived, it's clear to me that you brought with you an expertise that we did not retain through the dark days of the Surge. With that in mind, I would love to leave this in your Smith's capable hands. She must have had a world-class mentor.
She's primarily self-taught, actually. But I'll pass on the compliment. She'll be thrilled to hear it.
That's astonishing. Let's go through what's needed then. For the body of the device, you'll just need some calm steel. But the rest? Do you have any preliminary thoughts, Isla?
Yes. Like you said, it's amazingly simple. What's missing from the schematics is the part that allows us to calibrate it. But it's clear in my mind what the finished design should look like. Give me a moment. There. It's like the design itself wanted me or someone to finish it. To calibrate it, we'll need some representative samples of Surgeborn. Let's say husk and huskhound fur. Get plenty of both.
And then I take the finished resonance modulator to the harness.
Exactly.
It should be pretty obvious where to place it, too. You'll know, if you do it right.
Gotcha. Time to hunt a few Surgeborn. Hey.
Brynn. I haven't known you for long, but I can tell when someone's about to ask me a frustrating question. Out with it.
You forced my hand. So, what's the deal with you and Isla?
This is a workplace. We're colleagues. We both represent a number of guilds. By the flames, we're known for working well together, as our offices command. That's all.
Come on. You're saying you have no interest in her whatsoever? She's adorable, and extremely smart and powerful. Who wouldn't want to run off into the sunset with her?
Brynn, please. Even if I were, theoretically, I doubt she has time for someone between her council duties and her own research. But I am not. I respect and appreciate her as a colleague. Nothing more.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have requisitions to process and ridiculous questions to ignore.